Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks for opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And this week I'm joined by Scottish comedy legend Fred Macaulay, and with him is comedian Josie Long. And facing them it's comic Susie McCabe. Joining her is stand-up Scott Agnew. In the news this week, the highest temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth, 54.4 degrees Celsius, may have been reached in Death Valley National Park in California this week. Now, to give you an idea of just how hot that is, a Scottish granny would have taken her cardigan off, but still kept it round her shoulders just in case. Too true. The Lynx UK Trust announced this week that it will be holding a public consultation into introducing up to 250 of the big cats into the Queen Elizabeth Forest Park near Aberfoyle. The main argument in favour being that 2020 just needed a wee bit of livening up. And the bomb squad was sent to a Fife village after a fossil found by a local schoolboy on a fishing trip turned out to be an unexploded hand grenade. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson was said to be relieved that they finally found somebody who could destroy a school quicker than he could. Right, we have met the panel, so let's crack on with round one.
Yay! Yay!
And this is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess the two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So Fred and Josie, can you tell me the first story, please?
Gym owners in Scotland say they're ready
the hordes of reckless maniacs
after being told to shut their doors in March. Scottish ministers have indicated they'll
focus on the negatives here, on all the rubbish that's being left behind.
but say they're keeping that under review.
I think it's the ongoing situation, as they say. I am personally kind of flummoxed by the phases that we're going through. You know, I'm from a time, Des, when algorithms were still called logarithms. I mean, I didn't know I'd been studying a spelling mistake all these years at secondary school, but I still believe we're in phase 3.
It is the right answer. It's the news that as we enter out of lockdown and into new stages of phase 3, the government have given indicative dates for when more things might open. So from Monday, outdoor contact sport, outdoor live events, casinos, bingo halls and driving lessons can all go ahead, although gyms and swimming pools can open with restrictions from the 31st of August. We're going to miss the comedy clubs. We have done so far. Anything else you're looking forward to reopening?
A deposit account? I'd like to open a deposit account. That'd be a nice thing to open.
Josie, what about yourself in terms of coming out phase by phase? How is it working for you?
Well, I'm in the process of moving to Scotland, and it was really strange coming up from England to see the difference in the policies, because in England the policy is largely, I just do whatever you want.
I'm looking forward to the cinema opening, right? Not even for the films. I just quite like the contraband aspect when you fill your pockets with sweets and sneak in. I just feel as if I'm beating the system. Like, I feel like I'm one of the Peru too with a couple of packets of minstrels. You know? Just sitting in my hair.
Scott, what about you? I don't know how you've coped with it. How's it going for you?
It's been no bad. I mean, I live the life of a lonely homosexual in a housing association flat, so it's been great. I just want to warn people, I don't like people getting too kind of excited. You know, this idea that we're moving through various phases. You know, when I came out as a homosexual, my mother said it would just be a phase, and that's been 20 years now. So, so we might be in phase 3 for a while here.
I love that. Also, Fred, what we're finding about COVID-19 in 2020 is that we're being changed, maybe learning something about ourselves. Do you think that lockdown has changed you in any way?
I'm moving into country music just as a wee side hustle, and I'm looking forward to releasing my first single, which is I Live the Life of a Lonely Homosexual in a Housing Association Flat.
What about you, Josie? Obviously, it's been a traumatic year and everyone says this phrase unprecedented. But has lockdown changed you in any way?
Yeah, lockdown has changed me. And what I've been doing in lockdown is sort of forming a very close friendship with a group of Australian children's entertainers called the Wiggles. And by friendship, I mean parasocial relationship, whereby I watch them and believe that they are my best friends and they do not know that I exist. So, yeah, just spending the time really constructively, I think.
Oh, my God, the Wiggles. That is a reference there. By the way, for those listening that don't know the Wiggles, think the singing kettle, but in a lot of pain relief medication. Susie, be honest, has lockdown changed you in any way?
It's probably just made me appreciate what I've got. I've spoke to Scott most days, just shouting at him down the phone. Poor Scott. As much as what he says he was a lonely homosexual, he'd another homosexual lesbian just barking things down the phone.
Fred, I know you're wanting to come in there just finally.
It was just to say that I've come up with the title for my B-side to my single, which is I've got a homosexual lesbian barking down the line.
Bingo halls will reopen from the 24th of August, but only for people from one house, a single line, or all four corners. That might be my favourite joke ever. I love that. The continuing move out of lockdown is the right answer. Fred and Josie, well done. You get 2 points for that. Susie, I'll come to you. Any thoughts as to what our second story might be?
This is about the litter that people are leaving when they're camping, because we can now go out into the countryside. And I think they're calling it dirty camping, which I'm pretty sure Scott Agnew has got the rights to that title from a Fringe show 5 years ago.
To be fair, I think I was charged with it a few years ago.
Scott, what about this then? Obviously, we like having holidaymakers, but we really want them to clean up after themselves. Or are we being too moany when we say that?
You know, it gives the midges a break if we're moaning about English holidaymakers, you know. It's just take the heat off of them for a bit. You know, they deserve a summer season every now and again as well. But our Ethel, my mother, had a kind of theory on holidays that, well, what's the point in going somewhere that's worse than your own house? She went, you spend all year working to provide yourself with a nice kitchen and a nice toilet, and then you pack up and disappear somewhere for a fortnight where you can't get access to a kitchen or a toilet. I absolutely not. She went, I will not be going on holiday until there's silver service and a butler service.
Fred, like myself, you do appreciate Scotland. I know you've travelled around a fair bit. What do you make about this? This dirty camping? People coming to stay here, which is great, but leaving the mess behind them.
It's a double-edged sword, because we want people to come and enjoy the beauty of Scotland, but we want them to spend a bit of money, and we don't want them to leave a mess. So we're really going to have to build the infrastructure to stop people from leaving a mess. And for me, that involves sowing a lot more thistles and nettles, because that'll stop people bearing their backsides. You only need stung in the back end once to think, I'm finding a toilet. This is never happening again.
Susie, what about you? I don't know if you go in for a camping experience. Do you have a memorable camping story?
I remember doing the Duke of Edinburgh. I done the Duke of Edinburgh at school, and things that wouldn't happen nowadays. I was 1996, and we done the Southern Upland Way. And what I loved about it is it was two teachers, took us in a minibus, literally dropped us at the side of a field and went, on you go, there's a map, there's a compass, we'll see you at the first stop. And they just let us go. And we were like climbing up over ridges, and you were looking down and there's just loads of dead sheep. And you're thinking to yourself, if one of us slips, we're gone. It was a different time. Teachers dropped me at the side of a field saying, see you in 8 hours. Different time.
Josie, what about you? Have you got any memorable camping stories?
I was at a music festival and I had indulged myself as much as I possibly could. And I felt so hungover and so ill. Then about 5 minutes later, a man stood outside my tent and he started going, Michael. And I was so hungover that I just thought he must have meant me, but it was like a test. So after like a minute of him going, Michael, I was like, yes. And it turns out he wasn't asking for me, it wasn't a test.
Well, I suppose my question is, Josie, did they ever find Michael, or did you find who Michael was?
I'll tell you something for free. If they did find him, they didn't shut up about it.
Oh, camping done, covered in canvas, well done. Mountaineering Scotland said they would like people to leave little or no trace that they'd ever been there, much like Jackson Carlaw as leader of the Scottish Conservatives. Well done to Susie and Scott. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of the changing COVID-19 restrictions and camping in Scotland. And at the end of that round, the teams are on 2 points apiece. Hey. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion. So this week we spoke to actor and comedian Tarian Boyd and Scottish entertainment royalty Karen Dunbar. So Susie and Scott, what story do you think Karen is talking about here?
I think that as useful as this thing is, it's possibly not going to work. I think there are other effective ways of telling when somebody's had too much. Right, you, away up the road.
It's a drinking app to tell whether you've had too much to drink or not. I've got an app that tells me how much I've been drinking. It's called my Barclays online account. Which
is the news that smartphones can detect when you've had too much to drink by monitoring your walk. Here's how it does it. Your phone measures side to side, up, down, and forward and backward motions while you walk. So it can tell if you're drunk or worse, line dancing. So, Susie, would you trust an app to tell you that you've had enough?
I know when I've had enough, right? I know when I turn round to whoever's company I'm in and go, do you want to go up the gay disco? Right now, when you're in your 40s and you use the word disco, that's when you know you should be up the road and in your bed, right?
It is an app that tells you that you've had enough. Would you trust that app?
Absolutely, and I'm all for it, Des. And I'll tell you why, is because I've been swatting up on my technology and I've come up with another app that you can apply to this, and you would run the original app through my algorithm. And it would say, you've had 4 pints, but you've now been downgraded to 2, so get some more in, right? And it's called an algorithm, right?
Josie, what about you? It's obviously something to tackle the over-drinking culture in Scotland and the rest of the UK. Would you trust an app that would tell you if you've had enough?
No, I feel like apps, they try so hard. They know too much about us, but they don't know what to do with that knowledge. For example, like when I turned 35, overnight, the adverts on my Instagram went from things like, look at this holiday, like, do you like music? And then all the adverts were ovulation testing kits, a sperm bank that only does celebrity sperm donors. And then within a week, it was just a hoodie that you can put a cat in. And I also have bitterness towards apps because I got pregnant by accident and I 100% blame it on an app. Because it was my period tracker app and it treated me like it knew me and it wasn't in the green week. And what's the point of it telling me it's the green week? And I also
was that
worry
one of Matt Hancock's apps? I was having trouble sleeping and I downloaded the Calm app, and that was supposed to sort of help you sleep. So it advertised a free trial and it was lovely. It was all kind of orca whale music and it worked, right? It worked for a couple of nights. And then on the third night, as I put the thing on and there was kind of owls hooting and kind of water running and all the rest of it, And then it pops up and it told me it just taken £28.99 off me because that was the free trial finished, right? For an app called Calm, finding out you're 30 quid down is not going to send you to sleep.
My favourite take on this new drinking app was that after we had 4G, then we had 5G, and now we've got a phone that knows when you're drunk because it can tell by the way you use your walk, so that's a BG. There we go. Smartphones that can tell you when you've had a few too many is the correct answer. 2 points go to Susie and Scott. Well done. And to you again, Fred and Josie. What do you think Tariam is on about here?
Am I surprised that more people have been getting these? No, not at all. Energetic, friendly, relentless. Some people have a problem with the way that they smell. Some people have a problem with them getting all up in your grill. Come here. Here's a good boy. Good boy.
Yeah, I think this is about the fact that so many people during lockdown decided to get a dog.
Yes, this is the news that since lockdown, there's been a rise in the number of puppy registrations in the UK. So puppy registrations were 26% higher in the second quarter of 2020 than the first 3 months of the year, and 12% above the same period in 2019.
I don't have a dog. I have the bad version of a dog, which is a baby. And she's wonderful, but like what lockdown did is it made me not only realise how much cleaning and cooking and tidying needs to be done, and so the idea that on top of that I'd be washing up a dog's bowl while it just looked at me, didn't do anything, didn't lift a finger. I'd be brushing the dog's hair and brushing the hairs off the sofa. I think people need to appreciate that the reality is you've just tripled the gross stuff in your flat.
Fred, I know that you're a dog owner and dog lover as well. Firstly, are you surprised at the rush to buy pets at a time like this?
No, not at all, Des. I think it's, people are looking for companionship and they're looking to find something good in their lives. And I read that they've been paying up to 4 times the normal price for a pup. Which means that we picked the wrong year to have our male dog neutered. I've been Googling reversing vasectomies in Labradors, and that's not something I want in my browser history, I'll be honest. And technically it wasn't just a vasectomy. He's lost his whole wherewithal, or wherewithals, if we're going down the rhyming slang route. I've got to tell you guys, there is nothing sadder than seeing a post-op male dog lie down, twist his head round for a lick and finding nothing. It is the absolute 100% opposite of the mutt's nuts. Now, I don't know if you can broadcast that, Des, so let me just throw a couple of other ones at you. He's looking for the Spaniels Daniels, Des, right? The Terriers Derriers, if you will, right? The Poodles Noodles, I'll go on. The Springers Dingers. I'm talking about the Labs Dabs, Des, right? And finally, of course, the German Shepherd's testicles. Now, I'm joking.
Scott, I don't know if you're a dog owner or have been, but are you surprised at the interest and the increased levels of people wanting to own dogs during lockdown?
Oh, no, I completely understand. I mean, I'm not a dog lover at all. I kind of fell out with dogs very early on. I remember when I was about 4 or 5. I was in a taxi and I was waving at this wee dog in the back of a taxi, and then I fell out the taxi and the dog ran for the garden and then bit me, right? So me and pets, I'm no for them. No, bring you nothing but heartache. It's the same reason I don't keep a boyfriend.
To be fair, you've met a few of those falling out of taxi, Scott, so... Oh, too true. The uptake in puppy sales during lockdown is the correct answer. 2 points go to Fred and Josie.
Hey.
You're tuned to a socially distanced Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Fred and Josie, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I was ecstatic. I completely didn't expect it. I was so happy to be asked to be involved.
Oh, well, I don't know who the person is, but I know there's been some stuff in the news about the casting for the next series of The Crown. Am I going the right way there?
It's Australian actress Elizabeth Debicki, and she's been cast as Diana in the final 2 seasons of the Netflix series The Crown. This is the casting that's got the most publicity. Why do you think we're still so fascinated by Princess Diana?
Just because of the sad fate that befell her, Des, and how we would contemplate what might have become of Diana as the years went on. Would she, like the rest of us, wondered how a good-looking teenager like William could turn into such an egg-shaped headed geek? Your Majesty.
Josie, do you understand or get the fascination that still exists with Princess Diana?
Yeah, she is perfect because she seems like an anti-establishment figure, but she is literally the establishment. And I feel like it's the safest. It's like the safest rebellion people can have. They can be like, I don't like the royal family, except for this one member who, for some reason, I've decided doesn't count. And it's like, I do think Princess Diana was a saint, and that is because I've seen so many documentaries about her that I've been radicalised.
What about yourself, Scott? I don't know if you watched The Crown.
No, see, I've not watched it because I thought it was just kind of 8 hours of a woman screaming at the worst part of giving birth.
I'm not a monarchist, right, but I did watch The Crown, and I love The Crown because I really like history. So it was nice to kind of look at a dramatisation of kind of part history, part drama. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. In the next 2 seasons, we're going to see Thatcher played by Gillian Anderson. That there, ladies and gentlemen, is a 25-year crush coming abruptly to an end. Some of us are in mourning for the next 2 seasons of The Crown, let me tell you.
What have you got against Gillian Anderson that's ruined your crush on Margaret Thatcher?
There have also been rumours of a Crown prequel in the making, but Netflix aren't sure if the German subtitles might put some people off. Yes, well done. 2 points to Fred and Josie. That was Elizabeth Debicki. Right to you, Susie and Scott. It's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
Back then, I was the baby. I was the youngest one in the cast by miles. And I didn't have any expectations. I was just glad I had a job.
That is Mr. Ian Beale of EastEnders fame, or the actor, is it Adam Woodyatt? That's him having a wee blether there. I've not watched EastEnders in about 15 years, quite frankly. I've suffered from depression enough. The doctor gave me a prescription to avoid it.
So not a fan of the soaps then, no?
No. I mean, I quite enjoy a bit of Corrie, but I think the last time I was watching EastEnders, that was when Dirty Den returned, when Leslie Grantham came back. And I'm just thinking, he would have been in his element in lockdown with all these Zoom meetings. But anyway.
Well done. It's the news that Adam Woodyatt, who plays Ian Beale in EastEnders, is going to be written out of the soap when it returns from its break. What about yourself, Fred? I don't know if you're an EastEnders fan. Are you shocked or surprised to see Ian Beale going?
I know who he is, I know who the actor is, but see, when you hear that a soap character is being written out, and you remember when they were in school, right? They were schooling, so I guess it just means old Freddie's knocking on a bit. I mean, I remember EastEnders, on the odd occasion I did see it. I think it had a laundrette, so that would have been 6 months ago.
Josie, what about yourself? I don't know if you watch any soaps.
No, I don't have the commitment. I can't be following someone's whole life for 30 years when they're not even real. It's too much for me.
You say that, but if The Wiggles was made into a soap, Josie, you would be there.
Mate, if The Wiggles was made into a soap, I'd be watching the omnibus, even though I'd already watched it in the week. If The Wiggles was made into a soap, I'd be presenting Wiggles behind the scenes, Wiggles and extra slice. It would be called Wiggle It Just a Little Bit. Come on, there we are.
Oh, no, we've got there. We've got there. Is there a character from soap history that would be your favourite that maybe you identify with in some way?
Big Bet Lynch behind the bar.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of old school, sassy, barmaid, you know, kind of 90% woman, 10% drag queen kind of thing, you know.
Julie Goodyear, wasn't it?
Aye, Julie Goodyear, and she had real kind of sass about it. She totally owned the character as well. She totally owned the character.
I'd like to see Bet Lynch and raise you Kat Slater, because I feel like Kat Slater is all of those things we've been talking about: the leopard print, the drag, the energy, but also like 20% more chaotic. And that's what I want. You're not watching soap for functional individuals. You're watching soap for drama, and you want people who are like a big character, a strong character, and messy as hell.
And there we go. Classic EastEnders catchphrases will need to be updated in light of coronavirus when the show returns on September the 7th. For example, get out of my pub is now get out of my pub, but please make sure you accurately record your departure time on the form and leave it in the wee box as you exit. Thank you very much. There we go. The right answer is Adam Woodya, aka Ian Beale, and 2 points go to Susie and Scott. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
We can do better.
That's Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris there with her hot take on the UK's exams fiasco. Right. What is making a return after 15 years?
Is it Sean Paul? Because I really hope so. He's great.
What, the dance hall rapper?
Yeah, he was really big in 2005.
In my life, he's never gone away. But let's see.
I was trying to work out when he was Pope.
What is making a return after 15 years?
It's the 8:15 Stranraer to Brigadoon.
What a journey that was. I can give you the right answer. What is making a return after 15 years? The answer is Turkey Twizzlers are indeed coming back after 15 years away.
We can do better.
And there is our klaxon. That means Kamala has harassed. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Fred McCauley and Josie Long. Yay! And commiserations to Susie McCabe and Scott Agnew. Woo!
Well done, guys.
And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. The first polar bear cub born in the UK for 25 years is leaving his home in Scotland and moving to England. His new home will be in Yorkshire, which was his second choice after his lower than predicted A-level grades meant his place at Oxford fell through. Hands-free driving could arrive in UK roads by spring next year, the government has said. Hands-free driving has actually been around for a number of years, though. They're called BMW drivers. And Donald Trump has 11,000 followers on Triller after just 2 days. For those who don't know, Triller is an American version of TikTok and not an album by an Irish Michael Jackson impersonator. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.
Fruit salad, yummy, yummy.